Okay, that was fast. Good evening, good evening. Let me just check who's in the live right now. Okay, so I've committed to going live every day. I feel like I really can't skip the live part of the day no matter what I want to skip for the day. So I took some notes. I changed what I was going to say like 3 times. So this morning when I was meditating, I was thinking of something completely different. This video looks blurry. I don't know what is going on with my phone. Yeah, so this morning after meditating, I was going to talk about one thing. And then today was irritating as hell, I swear to God. Not so much irritating, I should say just unproductive. I can't say I really miss sitting, in a store all day or in a mall all day. I really don't. It just kind of seems like a huge waste of my time. Hold on, maybe it's my brightness. There we go. Yeah, so I don't necessarily miss sitting in a store all day, but I will say at least I was getting something done and at least I felt productive. I am having to Hi Wayne. Thanks for coming back. I didn't even know you are on Instagram like that. Yeah, today was not productive. And because today was not, let me tell you guys why today was not productive. Because, yo, everything I do, people stand in my way. It's crazy. And it's like, you know what? It's just what comes with the territory. So I don't want to complain. It is what it is. Like, but I'm dealing with real stupid, like childish stuff. So like if I'm trying to scroll on Instagram, like, somebody's scrolling the other way, or like emails are not coming through. And I remember actually I was dealing with this stylist in Atlanta, and she started acting like an op, like very, very soon after I started talking to her. And I remember she made a comment one time. She's like, I gotta change this email because I haven't received any emails for today, and it's already like 11 a.m. because I called her in the morning. And I was like, what does she mean? So here's the thing. I kind of feel like there are particular people that I ended up, being in contact with. And those people happen to, every time I get on live, I start burping. I don't burp all day. But once I get on live, I'm burping. Anyway, I feel like there's particular people I end up getting in contact with or working with, and then I feel like they're already involved in whatever this is. So it's like, I don't know. It's not like they contacted me, but it's almost like removing all the people that are not involved out of the way. So only people that are involved are in my way, type of thing. But when she said that about the email, I was like, I mean, I can't say that I was shocked, but anyway, that's what's happening to me. So as I do my marketing and as I do things, emails just do not go. I think they go through, they go out, but then I don't get the responses back. So I should have been 20 steps ahead of where I am today, especially with our rebrand. I should have been way, way, way further than where I am today. But it's like the kind of people I could have connected with, or I should have or have connected with, but you're not getting responses back. And it's not that you're not getting it. It's like you can see signs that you're getting it, but it's like it's being blocked. So this is why I titled this video Hurdle Jumper. And it's kind of like, I don't know if anybody here reads tarot, or probably not. Well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody here reads tarot or listens to tarot or is familiar with tarot. Tarot messages come, and a lot of the time they're valid, whether it's for, like, they're very rarely real-time messages. Sometimes it's like I will listen to or read tarot from like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it's happening now. It's valid now. So it's like when I make videos, I kind of keep that in mind. Like whatever information I want to share, I want it to be valid over a long period of time. This video in particular today is very, very, very valuable. And now that I think of it, not just valuable for, what I'm going through, but I think just in life in general, it's just a really good skill to have. So, part of the reason that I've kind of found myself in a safer space today or a calmer space today than where I was before is because you get to a point where you realize, hold on one second, let me just fix this. You get to a point where you realize what you're going through, you're dealing with very exhausting people, and they're exhausting on purpose. So it's like, to do a job like that, you have to like literally just already be an exhausting person to begin with, like a draining person, like somebody with a personality that is tiring. So this is a constant, it's like somebody's job is to sit there and decide how to piss you off, how to suck the energy from your body, how to drain you all day, all night. Whether that's keeping people up at night so that they don't sleep, coming and pissing them off in any way, shape, or form. Like that is the goal, just to piss you off, just to be annoying, just to get on your nerves. So you literally need to learn how to seal exits. And the quicker you can get this through your head, the better. And the quicker you can do it, even the better. So for example, let's say like one of my things was people were coming into my store every single day around the clock. Every 15 minutes, somebody would come in, whether they buy something or not. And the worst part is them shopping as they're being irritating. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to put up with this, but it's highly irritating. It's like you just come to a point where you're like, listen, and that's the point. That's the point that they want you to come to, is like, I can't take this. Let me close the shop. That's the point that they want you to come to. But at some point, you have to kind of weigh your mental health and how much do you want to be irritated every day. So usually these are the tactics that they use to get people out of jobs. Like, because again, this is what this company is about. This is what they're hired for. This is not like unheard of. This is everywhere. Like there's just companies that you could hire. Like there's people who are underground. It's kind of like the dark web, but of like reality, of the real world, where you can go hire a company that is basically going to come in and it's like, I have an employee I want to get rid of, and they're going to get rid of this employee for you. They're going to harass them at the job until they quit. And you want to pay more money to harass them after they leave? Sure. And what do you want? Like, what result? Do you want to drive them crazy? Do you want them to commit suicide? What do you want? And this is what they do. Like, this is their job. So, you kind of have to look at it logically at all points. And it's really important to stay in control of yourself and be very, very patient with what you're going through. So you really have to kind of look at it like, is it worth it leaving what I'm doing versus having my peace of mind? Like, is it worth it leaving my job? Like, is there another way to support myself where I can make just as much, if not more money? Like, you really have to be strategic about how you're moving and not just like being reactive. But at the same time, you just have to jump over hurdles. You cannot have a personality of like getting irritated by every single thing that happens, or that's going to pile up really quickly. So, because listen, they're shooting multiple arrows from multiple different directions every day. Like someone's sitting there formulating like, what new way can I get under this person's skin? Like, what new way can I piss this person off? So you really can't be sitting there thinking to yourself like, I'm just going to get up and go leave my job. Now I have no way to support myself. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So it's like almost all of these issues that you're going to go through and that I go through, almost all of these issues are not easy issues to solve. This is what makes this very, it's like a grueling thing to go through. It's very abusive in that way. I've kind of looked at it like boot camp from day one, because it's like, you know what? These are good skills to have in life in general. Like, if you can survive this, you are pretty much ready for anything. Like, you're war tested. Like, it's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Because these are not just like, I think a lot of times I come on here and I make videos and I kind of laugh about it, and people, and it just kind of, it doesn't maybe sometimes maybe I'm desensitized to it because I've been going through it for a long time, but I feel like sometimes the way that I talk about it maybe doesn't really it doesn't do justice to like how trying it is. Because like I said, they break down grown men. They break down adult men by doing this stuff. They take down families by doing this stuff. So, it is what it is, right? But it's essential. And I was going to make another video, and I had like other notes in regards to this, like with more kind of detailed examples. So things like, God, let me try to remember now. What would I say is a hurdle? Ooh, one thing I wanted to talk about. There are people who are stuck in this society, or whatever it is they want to call themselves, that are married in, or might as well be married in because they have kids with people in there. That, to me, is a real struggle. And I want to say especially for the women, because I feel like, well, actually either way, one way or the other. But I would think especially, well, one way or the other. Yeah, especially for the women, because it's like, and this was another video I was going to make. These people will send people to school to be social workers, to come out so they always have people in pocket. Like, the social worker thing and the counselor thing and the bankruptcy thing and the credit counselor things, those are their specialties, because these are tangible results that they give their clients. You understand what I'm saying? I remember, I'll tell you guys, somebody was telling me a story one time about, there was this girl, she came to the country, and she didn't have papers, so she married a guy, and part of the reason she married him was so that she could get her papers. Gets her papers, they build a life, they have kids. She ends up having businesses that are extremely lucrative, like in the millions. And so the guy wants a piece of that too, because he feels like he helped, and whatever the case is. So she didn't want to give him anything, like not even a fair cut. She didn't want to give him anything at all. So she went to a particular law firm. He signed the divorce papers at a bar the same night. And I think they said it cost, whatever it costed, it costed a bit, I'm sure. And he got nothing out of the divorce because of the law firm he went to and whatever means that they have. This is just how the world works. And I feel like there's people who know how the world works, and it is what it is. But it's like, and I don't know how to address, I guess, this part of things. That is obviously a very unfair situation for anybody to be in. And I'm not saying that it's right in any way, but comparing my situation to that situation, it's like, listen, if all you have to do is go somewhere, sign away a paper, take your L, and you could go, then that's much better than the situation that a lot of people are in, where their entire life, they're chained for life, and they never find out until they want to leave. They never find out until they say, like, you know what? I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this, I care for this environment. This is, like, they never find out. So it's like, at the time you find out is when things turn on their head. Now, for me, I found out early because I was just not interested in signing on. Had I signed on really early, I wouldn't have even known I was in anything. I would have just thought I had friends. I would have just thought things were cool. I would have just thought I had pushy friends who ask me for favors that are kind of sketchy every once in a while. That's what I would have thought. And a lot of people, that's what they think. They don't even know they're in a society. They don't even know. They don't even know. Like, if you really think about what a person like me has gone through and what they are putting themselves through or at risk of just for even coming on live and talking about stuff like this, because this is how mansions are being built. This is how people are paying for the fuel on the private jet. Like, people are building empires on this. People are trying to make these things into generational businesses on the back of other people. So it's like, for me, the issue that is near and dear to me is the gang stalking bit of it, because that is the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And even with me coming on here and giving all this advice on like, you should do this and you should do that, I still even think to myself, like, I don't think the average person can tolerate this. I don't think the average person can survive this. Just because of, like, even if you could get through the physical part of it, people following you, even if you can get over being hacked and having absolutely no privacy whatsoever in your, electronic communications, which is what we use all the time. Even if you could get over all of that, even if you could get over being slandered and pushed out of business and whatever, which is still in the realm of reality, most people are not equipped to deal with the kind of spell work that is being sent their way. And we're not talking about like one person is working on you. Like, you have multiple people. Like, you have people outside the country, like people in Nigeria, people in DR, people in Mexico, the nightmares, the sickness, falling sick out of nowhere, and then them gaslighting you and telling you it's because you're stressed. Multiple illnesses hitting you all the time, and it's stress. Like, the average person is probably not equipped to go through this. They're just really not. They're really, really, really not. And it's like, it does have to end. It is what it is. And, I kind of meditated on this a little bit. I'll probably be jumping around. I'll be jumping around in this video a little bit. But, and then this is in conjunction to what I'm saying about all the hurdles and everything. Not everybody has the same spiritual protection. Not everybody has the same spiritual capabilities or know-how or even or even believe. A lot of people don't even believe. But it's like, and personally, I don't like to be around people who do not believe in whatever you want to call it, magic, spell work. I do not. They're a liability. Like, they don't see when things are happening. It's just like, I can't. And you try to help them and you're like, listen, just go do this, just go do that. And they don't want to hear. And you're like, listen, this is happening, that is happening. And by the time they realize what's going on, it's like, I'm not going to say it's too late, but it's horribly late. Like, it's like, you've been really like put through it by that time. You know what I'm saying? And not all the time. It's like, sometimes things happen where I'm not going to say it's always irreparable, but sometimes a lot of damage is done by the time people even realize like what's going on. But in conjunction to everything that I'm saying, that's why meditation is super important. Meditation is not just some hippie nonsense. Meditation is when you're super angry and upset about something, and detoxing yourself and breathing it out and calming your nervous system down, calming your body down at a molecular level. Finding peace that is not attached to solutions, that's not attached to solving the problem, because a lot of problems are not always solvable. You need to be able to walk through a fire and still relax. So this is why the meditation portion of it is so important. And everybody knows, and hopefully people are self-aware enough to know that whatever it is that you fall asleep thinking about is the first thing that's going to pop into your head when you wake up in the morning. So if you went to bed at night irritated because 5 things went wrong in the day and problems are compounding and things are getting crazy, you're going to wake up tomorrow starting out with 5 things on top of your head already. Like, you need to be able to detox and get rid of that every day, calm yourself down, and then wake up the next day and calmly try to handle things and move forward with things, like you need to do that, irregardless. So I always say the meditation thing, and this is the thing too. It's like, I realize in this world, you could literally give somebody the cure to cancer might as well be out there. People wouldn't use it anyway. People know smoking is bad. People know overeating is bad. People know not using protection when they sleep around is bad, but they'll do it anyways, right? Like, so it's like, I can say that, you should do this and you should do that. But I feel like these are things that really people who are actually actively in the situation are going to care about, or going to use, or going to want to reference. Like, when it's essentially like built up to a certain point where it's unbearable. So it is what it is. But the craziest thing that I wanted to really talk about, being in this situation, like being gang stalked, I feel like, I don't know, there are people who say they've been gang stalked for a really long time and whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, and I do not want to invalidate anybody's experience because I don't know. I don't know. I know even in my situation, when I describe things that are happening, it's like, even during me explaining it, I'm like, you know what, I can understand if somebody would say, you know what, that sounds like you're just being paranoid or whatever. Like, I can understand if they would say that, because it's literally, gang stalking is literally designed to be like that. It's designed to be like that. So, I've heard, like, one particular person commented on one of my YouTube videos and said they've been gang stalked their entire life. Which is the longest I've ever heard of. And the second longest I've heard of is 18 years. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but I will never tell somebody that that's not actually happening to them, because I don't know. And I would never want to invalidate what someone is thinking or feeling that is happening. But I mean, I think 18 years is quite a commitment for a company to do. I don't know who's funding that, but I mean, it has to be funded. It has to be funded. And to me, I feel like there has to be some tangible result is supposed to come from it, from what I can gather. Like, something is supposed to happen. It's not like you're just supposed to be gang stalked indefinitely. I'm sure they would take the money and do it, but it's like, I'm sure they want something. They want you to commit suicide. They want you to lose your job. They want this to happen, that to happen. Like, there's supposed to be a purpose. So for me to think somebody's been gang stalked from a child, like, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if those are just people who, it's like decoys that come and that say that kind of stuff to invalidate the people who really are going through something. Not sure what to say about it, but it is what it is. But I will say, the particular people that I'm dealing with, these Portuguese people, draining. Like, oh my God. Like, just as people, I'm not talking about doing their job. As people in their natural habitat, off duty, they're draining. When they're being nice, they're draining. It's like they have a magnet of anybody who's draining. Like, that's what they want. People who need a ton of validation, people who are super jealous, people have a need to be number one and to be the best all the time. People who need to flash their cars and, like, I have a better car and I have this, and did you see her shirt and did you see her husband, and like, those kinds of people. They take all of those people and they put them under one roof, one little family, and they stir them up, like they shake them up like a little Christmas globe. and then they let them loose in your fucking life. 1 year with these people. I don't know why I don't look older. Like that, you know what? You know why? Because I'm committed to peace. I'm not just a peaceful person, I'm committed to it. I just won't deal with people. I've been like this forever. If I won't deal with you, I won't deal with you. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you throw yourself at my feet and you like threaten to slit your own throat. Like whatever you want to do, you got to do. That's how I feel. I'm going to block you out. I'm going to tune you out. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm not going to skip meals. I'm not going to be irritated where no, I don't care. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get my work done. It is what it is. So I'm hyper focused, and I do not allow myself to also fight with people. I'm very strategic about where I'm throwing my energy. And I talked about that before, about energy being extremely valuable and watching where you give your energy. I look at people get easily triggered by things, or like if somebody says something, they're going to respond, or they're going to fight back. They're going to argue. They want to fight. You're draining yourself. So it's like, if you're trying to, if your goal is to piss me off when I already decided that I'm not going to be pissed off, it's like you're going to drain your energy. You're going to be giving me energy, as a matter of fact, because I'm just not going to do it. And it's not to say, it's not to say that I don't get irritated or I don't want to respond. It's just that I'm not going to. And that's really what self-discipline is about. You need a lot of discipline. Again, not just during getting gang stalked, but in life in general, you need a lot of discipline. You need to be a very focused person who doesn't allow outside forces to sway you when you know what your objectives are. So first of all, it's like if I think a lot of people find themselves in this situation. By the time they realize what's going on, it's like those people already lit a fire in their life. Those people have already surrounded them completely. It's like so difficult for them to disentangle themselves. All of this good stuff. But for me, it's like, first of all, I caught it really early. Really, really early. Like before it even really started, I already had a wind of what was going on. So that helps. I follow my intuition, which we all have, but very few of us actually follow. Very few of us listen to our gut. So there's that. A lot of people walk into a lot of situations knowingly. So there's always that. Thirdly, a lot of people have no spiritual beliefs. And there's that. And people treat it as if it's like a choice. They treat it as if their belief in it validates the spiritual world or doesn't. As if they don't believe in it, it doesn't exist. If you don't believe that the light switch will turn on the light, that doesn't change anything. You're just not going to be using light switches. That's it. And imagine having a light switch on the wall and not using it. How does that help you? That's exactly what it's like. You're living in the dark. And it's like literally, I just, hopefully, and not yet, but there will be a day, hopefully, where people start realizing like it's real. I think the people who've come against me, who've attacked me, do know that it's real. It is what it is. How else do you explain it? I'm sure they've come up with a bunch of explanations, but it is what it is. Like, God is there. I'm not like, forget everything else. I'm talking about God, the same God that people invalidate. God is not just like a figment of your imagination or something that they just talk about in the church, or just like, a statue in a cathedral. God is real. And God is not just like, God talks back. God will move in real time. In real time. God can move on your behalf in real time. And there's ways to go about that, but those are personal relationships. Those are not things that you need to go to church for. Those are not things that you need to listen to anybody about. These are things that you can cultivate and develop for yourself, completely independent of whatever. God will guide you through situations. God will reach out and touch. And for me, it's not even just one God. I don't just, but that's just me. I really, at this point in my life, I represent a God that is a female God, that is, that we refer to as mother, and we refer to as the universe. But even in saying that, people think like when you refer to the universe, it's still like God is like a sentient being with her own feelings, emotions, needs, wants, desires. Every spirit is. Every spirit is. Every spirit has something that it wants. Different gods are jealous of other gods for their followers. They fight over people, over us. Like the spirit world is there for everyone, and it's like people don't tap into it, and then people find themselves in situations like what I went through, and it's like 100% they're not making it out, because it's like, why are you even fighting this by yourself? Why are you even going through problems by yourself? Why are you even getting your own hands dirty in issues when it's like, puts me on another point. This has been something that I've been aware of for a very, very, very long time. Like, I mean, years and years. A lot of what happens in life, okay, to draw a parallel, this is something like, whether you're in, the drug trade that I talk about, or the covens that are over here that they have, or the secret societies that they have. I'm calling it a secret society, such a still, I don't know, it's like a played out like conspiracy theory sort of way, but there are people who want to exist in secret. There are things and services, like I talked about, that exist secretly, and it's not for everybody. It's for people with money and people with access, right? So let's, for the sake of this conversation, call it a secret society. But there are people who, these people, a lot of the times, the members, or cults even, the members just have an illusion of control over their own life. They're not in control of their own life. They're not in control over their own reality. They are 100% being guided down whatever direction, whatever road that somebody else has decided. Excuse me, usually from the top, and it is what it is. You think that the person that you're with, you met them by chance. You think that the area that you live in, you live there by chance. You think that the likes and dislikes and opinions you have, that you have them by chance, and you don't. You've been socially engineered to have them. Once you're in these little societies and they isolate you from other people, and they block certain people from coming towards you, and the people that come towards you are, in my community, what we call karmics. It's like people that are not supposed to be in your space, people that are there to teach you a lesson, people that are not there to bring peace, or they're not supposed to be there. They're supposed to just spend a time in your life. Once you're in those kinds of situations, they're moving you around on a little board, and you don't know. Like, for me, I recognize that people that are coming towards me are coming to be irritating and waste my time, but it's like, at least I recognize that, and so now it gives me an opportunity to do something about it, to strategize. But if you're literally sitting there, and let's say you're with a man, and you have to really think back to yourself, like, how did I meet him? Did I actually want to marry him? Like, did I have doubts, or was it like the community kind of encouraging me to kind of go through with it, or people liked him, or they kind of like, you got to really think about it. Why am I living in Oakville? Was it like a bunch of people that came and were coming to my store saying, you should move to Oakville. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you sell. This is the house. Here, you got a really good deal on it and whatever. So now you're telling the story about how you're in Oakville and you got a really good deal on the house. How did it happen? It's social engineering, and it's no different from what the government does. It's no different from how social media is construct, like all of it. It follows the same programming. A lot of how a lot of structures are set up. It's literally based on spiritual constructs. It's based on how the spirit world works. They take all of the same rules, all of the same sort of processes, and they apply it to people in real time. And that's how people gain power. It's people with knowledge that manipulate situations, and then now they have power over people. And that's why they think they're gods, until the real gods have to step in and really be like, no, you guys are not gods, actually. And that's exactly what's happening now. And it's like a lot of things in the Bible are literally just metaphorical. Like Revelations is happening now. Revelations is a rebalancing. It's the fire. When things are burned by fire, it's metaphorical. It's not like the whole world is going to go up in flames. It's metaphorical. Systems are going to come down. There's going to be a transfer of power. There's going to be a transfer of wealth. And it is what it is. People are going to have a shift mentally. People are more open to spirituality. More things are more exposed. Now they're coming out and they're talking about aliens, and they're kind of in a roundabout way admitting that that's real, when people have been saying that for forever. Now they're talking about what they're doing at Area 51. It's like, it's kind of all, it's like the same thing. Like eventually people are going to have to come around to spirituality and understand that the spirit world is there. It's very real. People keep having to reincarnate here over and over and over again because of the way that they choose to live. Because you have to pay off your karma. You cannot graduate through your life cycles, continue to learn more and more complex levels, and ascend unless you get rid of the karma. You come here, you worship money, you worship things, you worship material things, and then you find yourself in cycles of karma. So there are people who have so much karma, it's just on their bloodline. Like it's like that's where they start calling it a curse on your bloodline, because it's like it's so much that somebody has to die on the cross for the bloodline, essentially. Not just die on the cross, but they have to be able to resurrect and then, build it anew. And it is what it is. Like people, whether people believe in this stuff or not, whether people take it seriously or not, it is what happens. It just is what happens. It's just like repeating the same things over and over and over again. But I'll say this much. Whether people believe in spirituality or not, which is an uphill battle to try to convince people of, whether people believe in it or not, everybody who's in power believes in it. They have to. They know it. They know it exists. You think people stay in power just by getting elected or whatever it is that people talk about or people say? Nobody actually stays in power like that. Nobody actually gets in power like that. When power structures change, it's because somebody comes in and has to take it violently. They're not asking for it. They're taking it from you. Or they were just ordained to have it, and they're gonna fall into it no matter what nobody says or does. It's just their time. It was written, as people say, or it was prophesized or whatever, but it's like that's just how the world works. And it's like it's very genius, I guess, to make the average person think that they're powerless and that they have to get up and go work. Listen, let me not say that. Let me not say that. You have to get up and go work and toil one way or the other. Everybody does. Everybody has to put in effort. So let me not say that you don't have to. I don't want to make people think that you can just wave a magic wand and get stuff. Nobody's like that. Nobody should be doing that. Because that's not real. Because it will be snatched from you really, really quickly. But it's just that there is more out there. There's help out there. So it would be, I don't know what I would call it, selfish, but it wouldn't behoove me to go through what I went through, be assisted in the way that I was assisted and guided out of the situation and then not talk about it. If somebody asks me if this situation happened and this was so terrifying, how did you get out of it? How did you break free? Or how did you at least end up where you are today? It's 100% because of God. 100%. Period. Whether people want to admit that or not, whether people want to admit that or not, whether people want to, I know the people in the situation know that. I know the people in the situation know that. I know the people who were gang stalking me know that. Nobody just called it down. They're struggling to keep it going. They're forcing it to keep it going. If they could get 2, 3, 4 people for the day to follow me around. This live is so weird because sometimes it doesn't show anyone in, and then other times it shows different people. Anyway, yeah, whatever way they can force to keep it going. If they can have a couple people following me today, they will. And then tomorrow there's no one to do it. And then the day after, it's like they can only get one person and they can't follow me because they lost me, but they'll just stand kind of around my house and just be like, just give a smirk or whatever and walk away to make me think like they were following me for the day. Meantime, I was at a restaurant dancing with the manager in the middle of the floor and having a great old freaking time. And it's like, I know for a fact that, I was good for the day. It's like they're struggling to keep it going. There was no tangible result. I didn't fall sick. I didn't lose everything. I didn't commit suicide. I didn't lose my mind. Nothing happened really. I just kind of moved through cycles and landed exactly where I was supposed to land anyway. Doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing anyway. Getting exactly what I was promised anyway. So it's like, they know it. Nobody called it down. Nobody said, okay, it's finished. We've achieved our result. Nothing happened. And it's like the way that I've transformed out of the situation. Now, that's such a double-edged sword to say the way I've transformed, because I'm going to talk about nodes in another video. What nodes are. Your north node and your south node. Usually they're opposite, not always. But I'm in Aries energy right now. And it's like I've been in Aries energy from before. I didn't quite like being in that energy, but you have to be in that energy to be in business and to be successful in whatever way. But I really like being the softer version of me. It's just that when you're very kind and very soft, people don't respect that. And so then it becomes a battle of, do you want to be liked or do you want to be respected? And I always used to say I prefer to be liked. And I love how it feels to be liked. I was very extremely liked. And I'm very likable. Like, it is what it is. Even people who hate me will admit that. People know that. But it's like something like this happens and it's like, oh my God, they're really pushing me. And it's like, so now I'm back in that energy. And it's like, I don't enjoy people feeling afraid of me. And I feel like that's how people feel about me. And it's alienating, because it's like people are out there saying that you're a witch. That's crazy. So it's like, even people that don't even pray, that don't even believe in God, are not even gonna take the chance. So it's like, And then it's like, on top of it, people who know, so people who are in that type of lifestyle, who know what was after me. Like, this is the thing. They're not even going to be people who are going to come and say, oh, you're crazy, ha ha ha, whatever. This is what happens to other people who come out and talk about this stuff. All their comment sections like, oh, you're crazy, go see a doctor, this and that. People don't even want to be involved in this anymore. So it's like they know. It's like they're talking about it. It's like they're talking about it. Like, how is it possible? How did I get away from this? You know, like the police don't even want to get involved in it. The police don't even step in. So it's like, yeah, they're like, you're a witch. And I already know I'm not beating those allegations. It is what it is. Quite frankly, I don't care. At this point, I really don't give a shit. It is what it is. As long as people don't play with me and don't mess with me, it is what it is. I just want to be left alone and not bullied. Because when people bully me, it has the opposite effect. And I feel like I'm turning into a bully. I would prefer to be at peace. Always. I don't want to fight. I would prefer to relax. It's like, but people want you in that bullying energy. And it's like, that's the thing. It's like, really, you know, I like astrology. I like birth charts. Okay. You look at some people's birth charts, you could tell. Like, between me and this gang stalker, John Ferreira, there's a lot of parallel behaviors. And when I say parallel behaviors, I mean it's like the inverse. It's like the good twin versus the bad twin. It's like we both have the same type of heart at the end of the day. And I'm not talking about like, this man's heartless. He's cold. So I'm not talking about in that way, but I'm saying like a personality where someone won't stop. And it's like, I know I have that personality in me. That's why I don't like people to get me fucking started. Because it's like, you know what? My parents, both of them are like that. Both. So it's like concentrated in me. Where it's like, one of those people you don't want to upset because you're never going to hear the end of it. Like, once they get their claws into an issue, they dig it in and they don't want to stop with it. And I do not like being in that situation myself. So it's like, I was even thinking about it today and I was like, you know what? It kind of sucks. It sucks for him because I've said this in other videos as well, where I'm saying to myself, I'm like, I want to know what happened. Like, what happened to get him here? I've said this so many times. I'm going to do this, and I don't like my videos being over an hour. So this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. I don't know what happened. I want to know. Like, it really would help me to find out what happened. Because I haven't had the easiest life either. But it's like, you know, I don't leave my situations like that where it's like I let it have an effect on me. Even with me going through this, I had already decided how I wanted it to end. I decided how I wanted to end. I'm not going to let it end in any way it wants to end. I'm in control of my life. So it's like, excuse me, where I'm looking at I don't know, cuz this person is obviously has some level of spiritual talent. And it's like you're looking at the demise. And it's like takes on a job. The job's incredibly difficult. Like, let me put it to you this way. If you hire an influencer, they can tell you what they want to be paid. So they will say, I want $2,000 for a post, a reel, and whatever. $2,000. You pay them this money. They cannot give you a guarantee of what you're going to get. They can't guarantee how many likes. They can't guarantee anything about the post, if you're going to get traction or if you're even going to get a sale. But they know that this is what they want. Results may vary. Hiring a witch doctor is kind of the same thing. Results may vary. You're dealing with the spirit world. There's a ton of factors. So you're telling me that I would have been hired 2 years ago on a very difficult job. A very difficult job. The first year was essentially research. The second year, I had to get aggressive and employ a whole bunch of other things into it, exhaust a whole bunch of resources into it, employing more people, bribing more people, more research, more digging. Now it's affecting my personal life. I'm losing my family, not to say he's not culpable for his behavior. I'm losing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm getting sick. And then now I'm the last man standing in a situation that's just a job. Like, this is not my personal situation. This is a job. And now I'm fighting for my life. And it's like I'm not even getting paid. I'm out of money. That don't make no damn sense to me. Like, it's like you gotta walk backwards and ask yourself, like, wait, how did I end up here? Now, if it's a personal vendetta that you have, like this person personally did something to you, like you were not hired, you're not introduced, you knew them and something happened, and this is happening, that's one thing. But for somebody to have come to you with a file, you start working on the file. Now this is getting personal. You're personally taking losses, major losses on every chakra is getting dragged down. Like, to the point your gifts are being taken. And now I'm not getting money too? See, now that's the difference with me, because when he came around, he was treating me like I was a loser, like I wasn't much. And that's crazy, because at the time he stole a contract that he could have really benefited off of had he had even an ounce of respect for me. So he fumbled that contract as well. But it's like, whatever, contract aside, who cares? But it's like, one thing I would not do is I would not be the one who's the spiritual talent and then you're not paying me. Because it's like, and I think about this often, and I don't even know why this is the first time I'm talking about it. But it's like, I'm the last one fighting. I have no more manpower. I have no more resources. And I'm losing, quite frankly. Nobody's coming in to help. So it's like, I wouldn't take the last of my energy to fight somebody that is like a losing battle. I would take my energy, go try to get my money. What do you mean? And that's what confuses me about it, because it's like, is this about honor or is this about money? Because I would think that this would be about money to somebody like that. This is what people get into that situation for. They're not getting into it for medals and trophies and accolades. You want to do that, you're on the wrong team. If accolades and medals and honor and virtue, and because right now he's fighting for honor. That's what he's fighting for. His honor, his dignity, going down like Al Capone. Which, to be honest with you, whether I like him or not, whether he tried to take me down or not, you have to kind of respect that. But he's the only one doing that. He's been fighting through hell. Man's been fighting through love spells, deaths. People are going down around him. People are walking away. It's been desperate times calling for desperate measures from early on. Almost like real early on. It's been like fighting uphill with less and less resources and being pushed back all the time, like the enemy continuing to it's like, you know what, and this is why I say you got to know what type of team you're on. This is what happens when you're a Satanist. They leave you out to dry by yourself. You have to think, these people were worshiping something. These people were praying to something, and that something is not there anymore. Where did it go? And that's the difference with God, because God does not leave you out like that. God will never leave you out like that. And see, that's when you're on the wrong team, because this man has heart. And had that heart been put on the right team, had he positioned himself on the right team, it would have been a slower uphill battle to get things going financially, but it would have been way more money and it would have been way more success. And guess what? When you get yourself in a situation, God comes get you. God makes sure, even if God has to come off the throne herself to come get you out, she will come herself and come get you out. No soldier left behind. And even if that's to come and pick up your dead body, which is not happening. Even it's like I described in another video as like the US Army. Even if it's to come get your dead body, no soldier left behind. And that's why people usually who serve God usually have that type of heart. And for me personally, I have never run from any type of obstacle or battle in my life yet, and I never will. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. I say what I have to say the way I have to say it. You do what you have to do, because I'm gonna do what I have to do. And that's the difference between me, because like I said, if it was me, they would have had to pay me my money, because results vary. That's crazy. Results vary. Putting whatever tension that I have with that man, because like I said, it is what it is, and I stand on what it is. But putting all that tension aside, there is no way. And nobody's coming to get him, because everybody's saving their ass, because shit is crazy right now. Nobody wants to put themselves in that war path. That's crazy. People are getting... Anyways, I'm not even going to it. The bottom line is, this is the thing. Somebody that gifted, somebody that skilled, not wrapped up at all. Don't get me wrong. I didn't say not wrapped up too tight. I said not wrapped up at all. Okay? At all. But it is what it is. Like, he has some skill. Undeniable. He's done things in the past. He has a resume. He has a record. He's a destroyer. He destroys people's lives. He sits there and he comes up with these things. And it's effective. People were hiring him. He was being paid. He was the one people wanted to go to. Why is he not using those skills to get his money? I'm not understanding. I think that's crazy. Why, like, I have no idea. When I pull cards, this guy's in my energy. You should see the fucking readings that are coming out. Like, I'm like, this is crazy. This is more than an uphill battle. Everything is either in a challenge position or in the reverse. Everything. The money, the motivation, the resources, the support, everything. The only thing that is upright is the ambition. That's the only thing. The cycle is closed, literally. Like, it's blockages in every way. And it's like still keeps going. Imagine had you put that effort and been working with God. And that's the craziest part, is he was approached many times. Like, many times approached, and even given a contract that wasn't even his. So could have had that fair and square, just had to turn his life around, just had to make different decisions. That's the nuttiest thing. Was more interested in fighting than keeping a contract that was in hand. And there was really, what was I gonna do about it? Wrong team. People gotta choose the right team. And I'm at 59 minutes now. The only thing that I can say to anybody watching this, if you are going through craziness in your life right now, whether that is being gang stalked, or you found yourself with a group of people that you thought were family and they're really not family, and you need to get out of the situation, whatever the case is, right? Whatever it is that you're going through, choose the right team. It's I'm not gonna say it's never too late, because sometimes it is too late. A lot of times it's too late. Um, but it's never too late to at least start petitioning, and it's never too late to distance yourself from things that don't make sense, because that's what everybody's doing right now. People are distancing themselves from this situation. Because when I say that I'm being serious, it's like it's been a year of me being serious. It's been a year of me just, anyway, not gonna go into that. Um but yeah, that's my message for tonight. It looks like a whole bunch of people have joined the chat, and I can barely tell who's in here or who's not, but I know there's people in here. Because I know Instagram does this on other people's lives where you can't tell who's in, so I just keep going with the conversation just in case. Because it's showing nobody's in here right now, and then it's going to pop up again. It's going to show one or two people in, so it is what it is. But this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. Hoping somebody gets something from it. If not, actively from this video tonight, I'm gonna post to my YouTube. Sometimes I don't post all the videos. Very rarely I don't post all the videos, but I will post this one. Yeah, that's all I can say. If you're going through a situation, no matter what it is, whether it's a strenuous situation like my own, or it's just life in general, because right now, like, things are tough. Things are tough financially, and just like there's just something in the air lately where I feel like everybody's going through a difficult time. Everybody's having their own personal unique challenges. Like, I'll be on Instagram and I'll see people's captions and everybody's saying something. The Christmas season feels different than other Christmases, or like they've had a really tough year. I feel like 2023 in general has just been like a tough year for everybody. And 2024 is going to be worse. It is going to be worse. I keep saying this. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I keep saying this. I just feel like 2024 is going to be a rough year. The year always starts out rough. And it's like, whatever people were able to like barely hold on this year is going to really be a breaking point next year. And it's been, and a bunch of cards have been pulled on this too. Like, it's a famine coming, right? And I don't think it's just going to be 1 year. I don't think it's going to be 1 year. And I don't think it's like a coincidence either that all these wars have happened and the pandemic and all of that. I just don't think so. I think it's just going to be a rough time overall. So it's like, if you're having a rough time this year, it's definitely going to be rough next year. So people are going to have to jump a couple hurdles and stay strong and meditate. And, people do not have to believe in who I believe in. Like I said, I believe in a mother energy. Not to say that God the Father does not exist. I definitely pray to God the Father as well. But, the mother energy is very, very strong and very active, producing very active results, like very immediate results. And I just feel like that's something that needs to be shared with people. And that's something that people don't talk about. Maybe because they don't know. Maybe because all you hear about is like God as a masculine. But people need to remember, we come from matriarchal societies. The oldest civilizations believed in female power. And the secret societies right now also believe in female power. That's why women are suppressed. Men cloak in female energy because it's stronger spiritually. These guys that do work, they don't appear to you in spirit form as men. They look like he-she's. They come in female energy. They cloak in female energy. Even though they're men, the cards read them as women. They show up astrally as women all the time. They know that women naturally, whether you have spiritual gifts or not, we have intuition, which is just being closer to God. God is a woman. It is what it is. The universe is a woman. It's, or not a woman, I shouldn't say, but it's female energy. It is what it is. They know that, and they don't tell people that. And they suppress women, and they have to keep women in a degraded state. They have to keep women sleeping around and gossiping and fighting with each other and fighting over them. And their role really is to protect us. Their role is like the police, to serve and protect, to be honest. And that's not to be disrespectful or like in a subservient manner or saying like men should kneel to us, but we are just spiritually more powerful. It is what it is. But I'm gonna save some of those videos for later, because I definitely feel like that's the stuff that I kind of do want to talk about eventually anyway, because as much as I'd like to put my story out there, and I'll continue referencing my story because it's very valid, and it's like there's components in there that are very important, but I do want to go into talking about stuff like that. That's going to be controversial, and it's going to feel like race wars, and men are going to feel threatened that I'm going to say stuff like that, but it is what it is. The warlocks cloak in female energy. And I'm gonna go into a lot of stuff like that. See, that's what I'm gonna piss people off, and they're gonna be pissed off again when I start talking about this stuff, because it is what it is, because I've experienced it myself. I've seen it. I see it all the time. That's what they do. They use the mother energy, and they come out here and they try to dominate people and take control. And you know what? And I feel like that's what the shift is gonna be. The shift is gonna be getting back to matriarchal societies where women are going to be in power and are going to see her, my cat. Every time I start talking some real stuff, the cat starts acting up. But that's what it's going to have to come back to, no matter what they want to say. And that's why he's fighting so hard, because he's pissed off, because he's a man and he feels like he got bested by a girl. He doesn't feel, it is what it is. He did. He's not going to overpower me. He's not going to take over my life. He's not going to drive me crazy. I'm not going to commit suicide. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to walk free. And if people stand in my fucking way, I'm going to get them the fuck out of my way. And it is what it is. So that's what it is. Let me see who's in here now. Still only showing 2 people. People always end up coming at the end of my live. But anyways, this is my live. I'm going to link the video in my stories with a link to the YouTube. I'm going to actually post this one. It's kind of late, but I'll post this one right away, because I don't think I've posted anything for today or yesterday. And again, I'm going to endeavor to come on live at least once a day. I'm technically supposed to be doing more, but I'm going to endeavor to continue coming on live and kind of just talking about, I hate to say like things I believe in, because it's things that are true. Whether people want to believe in it or not is their business. It is what it is, but that is it for tonight. Have yourself a good night, and thank you for hanging out with me for an hour.